welcome to Salesforce Minded. My name's Jen, and today I am going to do a video about implementing a kill switch in your Salesforce org. And if you're interested in seeing what that's about, then please keep on watching. All right. So for today's exercise, we're going to be utilizing custom metadata types in Salesforce. And for those of you who may not be familiar with what a custom metadata type is or what they are in general, there is a pretty helpful documentation that you can refer to in Salesforce. I will share the link in my video down below. You can review it, but essentially you can think of custom metadata type as a way, it's data that describes other data. So it acts like metadata. So you can use it for mapping. And in our case, we're going to be using it for our kill switch. So what does that mean? If you're an admin for Salesforce, you'll know that sometimes if you're trying to do any sort of deployment or data updates or upload, it sometimes you may be, say, for example, you want to create certain records or you want to do an upsert, an update or upsert of some sort, and you may have existing automations that will be blocking you, meaning you're going to hit an error because the data is causing the automation to fire. This could be a flow, this could be validation rules, any sort of automations that you've set up in your org. And it is always painful to turn them off one by one. And I know there are tools out there that you can do this in bulk, right? You maybe use GearSet or use Capado, and you can do an update of all your automations in bulk, either make them inactive and make them active again, but that requires effort. So what I'm going to show you today is a way to embed some sort of custom metadata type kill switch into your automation so you can easily turn it off. So if you're interested, then I'm going to go ahead and jump into the demo. So what I have done is on the opportunity object, I've pre-created a validation rule. And what this validation rule does, let me just show you, is let's say you have a use case, right? You have a use case that after an opportunity record is created, that only a system admin can change the date because you don't want the sales rep or whoever that owns the opportunity to keep pushing the date. Now that may not be a real life use case, but for our demo purpose, that is essentially what I'm trying to demo. So as you can see in the validation rule that I've written, it talks about if the record is not new, meaning it's an update, meaning it's not the first time you're saving it, and your profile is not a system administrator, and you're trying to change the close date, then you get an error that says only sysadmin can update the close date once the close date is set. So what I'll do now is I'm going to navigate quickly to an opportunity that is owned by our support person. I'm going to show you that I'm logged in as myself. I'm the system admin. So as an admin, if I want to change the date, currently, I have the ability to do. I just changed it from 7/12 to 7/13, and it was fine. If I were to impersonate our support user, who is not a sysadmin profile user, the support user, I believe, has the support profile. Going back into the same opportunity record, I'm going to try to change the close date to 7/20 as a support user. And I am hitting an error that says only sysadmin can update the close date once the close date is set. And that is exactly what we wanted to happen, which is run a validation rule on anyone who's not a system admin who's trying to change the close date after it's been set. So great, it's working. So now I'm going to show you what you can do to quickly disable this, right? So if you only have one or two rules, it might be easy, but imagine if you're doing a system-wide data migration or data deployment, and you need to turn off 100 of them at a time. The way we're going to go about setting up this kill switch would allow you to do it in one single click or just a couple clicks, and it's very easy. So what I'll do now is I'm going to take you to the back end. So I'm going to first log out as a support user because I need to show you the back end. So going in, I'm going to go to custom metadata type. So in the custom metadata type, I've already created a record called automation kill switch. And in this one, I was able to create a custom field. It's called active. It's a checkbox. So that means any record I create going forward off of this custom metadata type, I can indicate whether that record is active or not. So I'm going to quickly go to manage automation kill switches records. I have one called validation rule. So what this means is I created a record called validation rule, and you can easily create one called flow, and other things. So for validation rule, I have it set to active true. So if you hover over the text, I've indicated that the default is false. When active is set to true, it means the kill switch is on. So set any record where kill switch needs to be on to true. So when you first create it, it's created as the active false. So that means the kill switch is not on. You can set it to active true when you need it to be on, right? So let me quickly show you. So I'm going to quickly set this to inactive. So active is false. And the other step you need to do is make sure all of your automations reference this kill switch record. So what I mean by that is you could have one generic one. That's not validation rule. You just call it general or something, and you can reference all of your automation to that general record, and you can then switch it on or off, and then that will actually turn. It will make the criteria of your automation to be false, which means that it won't run. And I'll quickly demonstrate, right? So what I'll need to do is I have it set to false. What I'll do now is I'm going to go back to and I'm going to actually open another tab so we can quickly get back to it. So in this tab, I'm going to go back to my validation rule, and I'm going to reference this particular kill switch, and that's the requirement. You're going to have to reference it. And so it's kind of unless you have a brand new automation or validation rule you're building, it's easy. But if not, then you're going to need to go back and sort of do the update kind of as you go. So it does take a little bit of work, but the idea is it will be easy once you're you have it set up. So what I have to do is I have to now embed my custom metadata type in this validation rule. So if you go to insert field, you have a way to go to custom metadata type. And in this case, I only have one record, automation kill switch. I want the validation rules itself. I want the active flag. So I can insert it, and I can make it false. I'm going to embed it. Check the syntax. No error found. So what this is saying is I'm saying run this validation rule if the kill switch is off because it's false, and all the other conditions are true. Then if everything evaluates to be true, then fire this error. So what this means is I've now turned off my kill switch. So the validation rule should still work because right now my kill switch is off. And if I were to go back to as you can see here, it's active false, right? So so what I'm expecting is if I go as a support user, I should still get an error because the validation rule is still firing, right? But if I were to go and make the custom metadata type record true, active true, then the validation rule should not fire because now this error condition formula no longer evaluates as true. So let's go ahead and see if that is the case. So I'm going to go and back to the details page on the opportunity. I'm going to log in as a support user. I'm not able to update, right? I'm going to log out. And now going back to the custom metadata type record, I'm going to make this one true. So now I don't have to touch my validation rule again because I've already set it, but I've manipulated the record on the custom metadata type so that it is true. So which means this validation rule I've written does not evaluate 100% true because the first condition where it needs to be false is no longer false. It is true. So now going back to this record as a support type user, what do you think is going to happen? What should happen is I should be able to make updates. So I'm the support user. I'm going to change the date. And I'm able to change the date. Why is this helpful? Sometimes you may be doing a lot of updates. Maybe you're doing some sort of through Data Wizard or through some sort of uploading tool. You're updating records, and the records may be in the support user's name, and you're doing an update to a bunch of fields, including the close date. And if you didn't turn off the automation of your validation rule, it is going to fire and the update will error out and you won't be able to insert that or update that row. What this does is I have a centralized location where I update one record in Salesforce and I am able to have my automation not fire, right? But then again, the prerequisite is you have to have your validation rule or any sort of automation rules, really, flows, they have to reference that kill switch. So this is an easy hack, so you can easily maintain it, and hopefully it makes your data migration, data update effort a little less cumbersome. If you have any feedback for me, any comments on what you might want to see next, please let me know down below and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Thank you.